What's up? Welcome to the Part-Time Rockstar Podcast, episode 37. My guests today are James and Ed from the band Teen Mortage, locally here in Baltimore, Maryland. They have, I would say, like a skate punk, stoner rock kind of sound, blending a few genres. They remind me a lot of one of my favorite bands called Fidlar from California. In any case, Teen Mortage will be featured on the soundtrack of the new season of Shameless, which is pretty cool. And their song Falling Down is featured at the end of this episode. You can find it wherever you listen to music. I'll say this interview went a little longer than normal since Ed and James were in person and came over to have a chat. I did my best to smooth it out editing-wise. But overall went pretty well. Got to talking about all things music and how they got together. We learned some English Liverpool slang. Talked a lot about skateboarding and even got into the band's dubious and brief connection with the Pizzagate conspiracy on Reddit back in the day. Incidentally, they are in fact on King Pizza Records, which sounds like it's out of Brooklyn. I should also mention there's a spoiler alert for the movie Midsummer, which we talked about at some point. Definitely skip over that if you haven't seen it. And other than that, thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting local music. And as always, if you're in a local band and you got some new music and you want to promote it, you can always hit me up. But yeah, without further ado, Ed and James, Teen Mortage.
I never said that I gave a fuck. I hope you know that this is enough. Even when I'm burned out and working suck. But I'm a part-time rock star. And I go to work.
Gotta be a thing.
So I guess we were kind of chatting earlier, and apparently somebody else is doing the same thing, but it's like a podcast for music, but for people who work. Who have jobs.
Yeah, he'd done one before.
And I was like, maybe we already met and I forgot, which is totally possible.
That happens from time to time.
You did a podcast similar.
I did Ambition Radio podcast with Chris Tondevold. I'm saying his name right. But it's not just music. He ends up doing a lot of music just because I feel like you're just interconnected to that. But he just does anyone he considers doing art, because I think he's even talked to people that like brew beer and things like that, and just how they balance a day job.
Yeah.
Which obviously a lot of people, I guess, in brewing and music end up transferring over and possibly making a living off it somehow.
Yeah. I don't have. Well, I have Dunkin' Donuts coffee creamer if you want.
Oh, word.
This is just regular black.
Yeah, let me get a bit creamy because
Yeah.
I'd be basic like that.
I like being on top of it.
I think I'm out of our first brew coffee.
What's up?
How you doing?
Teen Mortage.
Hello.
We were watching this stuff last night.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
The main question I think we had, or at least I had, was like, what skate park was that?
Oh, yeah.
It couldn't have been a local one, because I would have.
It was Lake Fairfax.
Fairfax?
Yeah, Lake Fairfax.
Are you talking about
Was that
the
in Virginia?
Vans promotion?
Wait, oh.
There was one
What are
show
you
where you
talking
had Joey Harcum's bass player.
Yeah.
Oh.
Lake Fairfax.
That was Fairfax.
Was that the one on my? It's like the video I put on my like personal page.
No.
It might have been. I think it was just on your YouTube page.
Oh.
If
That's what I was
the
looking
one
at.
at Lake Fairfax. I didn't put it on my YouTube page.
No, I put it on my Instagram. Like there was like a little video of it.
Yeah.
But is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
I'd have to show you, but
Yeah, that one Sarah lady, the one that films. She always films in like the.
Oh shit! Did she put those up?
She put the whole thing up.
Oh, I didn't see.
I just knew you wouldn't like the sound quality, so I didn't send it to you.
them.
I was like, I don't want to ruin.
No,
his
I'm not
night.
that bothered.
I don't want to ruin his night.
If it's not like the tightest set, I'm not really like that interested to watch it.
Yeah.
And like just because Joey, it's like only the fucking second gig Joey done with us. He was like,
he looked like he was rocking out. It looked
Yeah,
like he knew the shit.
he
So
did,
it
he
wasn't
definitely-
like.
He's a consummate professional.
I mean, I'll have to watch him back. I'd have a not a like the opposite of a biased view, I guess, on the stuff. I'm just like, I don't know, I'm like too perfectionist about it or something. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to watch it.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I would say like your guys' type of music isn't necessarily straightforward professional sounding either.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't need to be. Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like that's usually people try on purpose to avoid sounding professional in that sort of way.
Yeah.
The main band I was going to bring up that I absolutely love is Fidlar from California.
Yeah, we get that one a lot.
But I love their shows back when you were allowed to have shows.
Yeah.
If you remember.
Yeah, I saw them at the Howard Theatre with Swimmers and the Frights.
Yeah.
That was a good gig. Yeah, they had fucking energy as fuck. Like,
Yeah. The mosh
it was
pits
sick.
are so
Yeah.
violent. I love it.
It was like a total teeny bopper show. That one in particular, but like, yeah.
That's kind of the vibe that you really miss whenever you're just watching like a band like us play,
Yeah.
like on video. Because you're not there, you don't get the energy of it. You know,
Yeah.
aside from like whatever the sound quality is, it's just really
Right.
hard to kind of recreate that energy. I mean, even
Yeah.
when we go into record, it's like we try to do certain things that kind of amp up the energy of the way the tracks sound a little bit,
Yeah.
just to try to make it convey a little better when you listen to it in the car. Like I think the tempos are usually
Yeah,
pushed
I
a little
mean,
bit, and
Recordings sound good, you know. You don't have to worry about that at least. But
Yeah.
no, I mean I think you guys got the sound that you're going for. I don't know exactly how to pinpoint the genre, but that's not really important.
That's
I
good.
feel like, you know.
Yeah, we kind of...
I-
Go ahead. Sorry.
It sounds California to me, like Southern California. At least of the punk that I know out there, which is
we'll
somewhat
take it.
limited,
Yeah.
you know. So I was actually not even sure if you guys were from around here or not, or just transplants.
it's a Maryland accent.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but you can't tell when you're singing.
I'm
So,
from Easter Island or whatever the fuck. It's called.
where are you from?
I'm from like just outside Liverpool originally. I've lived around the States, so I'm kind of like,
Yeah,
just weird accent, kind of
yeah.
don't have a culture, you could say, you know. Just,
How'd you end up in Baltimore?
ended up in Baltimore because I'd lived in Annapolis a while, and I just didn't like it, so I moved up there. It's more rad.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. I've also lived in Baltimore before, so I don't.
how'd you guys meet?
Craigslist.
Oh, yeah,
Genuinely Craigslist.
Yeah.
Still works. I got into a Guns N' Roses cover band through Craigslist. So-
Yeah, there's a lot of cover bands on there,
Yeah.
seeking people, definitely.
Yeah.
It was, we've definitely told this story like a bunch of times. I guess it's just telling it again, innit? It's like,
We'll start embellishing it.
start getting like better at it.
So yeah, the best bands, they just make up a new story every time. So that
Yeah,
way
basically.
you start your own legend and no one really knows which one's true.
It's gonna be like,
Like-
those like Marilyn Manson rumors where it's like, then James removed 2 of his ribs so he could suck his own dick.
Probably
I
my
did the surgery.
my favorite Scottish band, Biffy Clyro. Like
Oh, yeah.
they make up a new story about how the name started. Like
Yeah.
every interview. And it's-
Are you familiar with Typo
I was just a
Negative?
Cliffy
yeah, a
Boy.
little bit.
Like I think that one of their bios just talks about how like Peter Steele had like 20 pounds of impacted fecal matter or something like that removed, or something completely ridiculous. They just made up the whole thing. It's great.
Yeah, it's funny. Simon's like says he sits around. He's like, I just got to come up with new stories all the time. I have to like compile them in my phone, so I'm like ready. You know.
Oh, there's
Like-
something to be said for like a well-rehearsed story. You
Yeah.
know, like it's like it's like comedian doing a bit. It's like it sounds like they're shooting it off the cuff, but they spent agonizing amount of time
Yeah.
working on that.
It's the Hunter S. Thompson way. You just gotta, exaggerate, hyperbolize everything until your legend's bigger than you are. You know.
There you go.
But yeah, no, thanks again for coming. And in person's always way more fun. I mean, than FaceTime.
Yeah.
Plus, the audio quality isn't a cell phone, so.
Yeah, and like with the Zoom and all the glitching and the audio delay and stuff like that we ran
Yeah.
into in the past, it's definitely preferable to do it this way.
Yeah. Well, I guess on the musical note, I always just ask people what they're working on or what they're going to release soon or what they maybe just released. So, I kind of went through your stuff on Spotify a little, but I'm not a hardcore fan yet. if that makes sense.
We're gonna sell you on
So-
a used car today.
Yeah, I don't know all your lyrics by heart or anything like that.
Sir, what's it going to take to get you into this EP today?
Well,
I
just-
felt like that at the merch table. It's
uh,
a nice T-shirt, pal.
yeah, you know, a little
Chains.
a little blow or something never hurt. But so yeah, you got Life and Death, or Life/Death in 2019.
Yeah.
So did you guys record that around here, or?
We recorded that with Kenny Eaton, Mystery Ton, which is it's up near Frederick.
It's Monrovia.
Monrovia, Maryland.
Nice.
Middle of nowhere.
I call it Fredneck.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, it's fair, for sure.
And then it was mixed by Jeremy Hayes from Mojo Bozo's Electric Circus.
Mm. Nice.
Shout out.
Yeah.
We have a single coming up. I'm not sure when we're going to release it.
Honestly, it's like whenever.
Yes, we're going to release it whenever.
Is that what you're shooting the video for, or is
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah. We're honestly, everything with like releasing and doing everything, it's been completely just dependent on what the fuck's going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't make any plans until like, all right, let's see what happens with this election
Yeah.
and whatever fallout happens from that, and
Yeah.
you know,
I am, somewhat worried about just the prospect of how long it's going to be before real shows can happen again. I mean, I try to be optimistic, but I don't know.
Probably got years left. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
another year, I think, until things can be like full capacity again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like the idea of a mosh pit right now just seems strange.
Yeah, it's funny watching. You watch stuff on like TV or like a show or whatever, and like when people like touch each other in the shows, or like
Yeah.
you watch a show and everyone's like all sweaty, like bounce around. You're like, no, I don't know about that anymore.
Well, it's funny
It's kind
because
of gross.
Ed and I were talking before about how we're both kind of in the medical field or
Oh, right.
world, and like that's always kind of made me a germaphobe. But at the same time, like I get in a mosh pit, I'm covered in sweat, piss, beer, spit, like blood probably.
It's a protective layer.
If you're at a municipal waste show, definitely you're on a boogie board, like surfing the crowd. So like,
Hell yeah.
and now it's just like everybody's sketched. So I wonder how long it's going to take people's like psyches to recover from
trauma.
Yeah.
The trauma this time.
The germaphobe trauma, you know what I mean? Like just being worried.
I mean, I guess to try to look at things optimistically, if anything, the demand for live shows has probably gone up,
Yeah.
So hopefully there'll be some carryover to that where people are like, I want to see people play live local music.
I definitely think there's a significant amount of people who won't
Absolutely.
care, no matter what. But then the other part of it is like what venues are going to have to do to survive. Like just for instance, the Auto Bar, like they have their bar, I guess, going on the parking lot or patio when it is open, and people can donate to them too, I guess, through the GoFundMe, which I do try to post once in a while, just on my Instagram or whatever. But I just wonder, like, are these venues going to survive, and how that's going to play out too.
A lot of them won't.
Yeah, I know Live Nation, unfortunately, is just trying to buy them up, and that's gonna throw a monkey wrench into whatever happens in the future too. Because the more of them they own, the more they can monopolize it all, and it's just like, ugh.
Definitely.
That's a little worrying as well. But again, I'm not trying to be too pessimistic either.
Yeah,
those are my talking points. You
can always think about how bad it can possibly get, especially when shit's all fucked up like it is right now.
Yeah.
I think what we may see as a result though is like kind of more of a DIY kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Just kind of people who, because the demand will be there, but and it'll come around for sure.
Yeah. So that part is true and is awesome that I've been noticing. That is the house shows, which are obviously underground right now, and I'm not going to get into the politics of whether you should have a house show of some kind or not. I did. I had an Oktoberfest the other day, but it was, distanced. We didn't have a mosh pit, and we had like 5 or 6 bands from the podcast and my band, and like it was a good time. So
all the shows come with that caveat of like, but there was this and that. Like we played a good bit in October, but we played in all different weird setups, like backyards,
skate park, right?
Yeah,
skate park. So. We played in Adams Morgan off the back of a truck.
Oh, hell yeah!
That was with Songbird Music Cafe. They put us in the back of a truck and had us drive up.
It was the owner of Songbird's truck.
Yeah.
It was a Cheyenne 10, so just looked sick.
That's awesome.
Playing to all the people eating dinner.
Yeah. Scaring them a little bit.
Yeah. Like, who's ready for indigestion?
It was a unique experience. I never would have thought that, like, we played for crowds that weren't into our stuff before.
Yeah. And I think that was, it's like it was a good indication of, people are looking for music. Like, it doesn't matter, like if it's a loud punk band or it's, like they had like a jazz band do it, they had acoustic, kind of acts do it. So, yeah, people just want the vibes.
Yeah, I mean, you guys definitely fit right in on the skate soundtrack, and that was one thing I was going to ask you. Like, you were on the Vans playlist, or Vans like video.
Oh yeah, we had
for whatever.
They used it in a highlight contest. A contest
reel or whatever.
Yeah,
but that's still
sick.
It's still pretty badass.
It's totally sick. I mean, I grew up skateboarding. I still skateboard. I think like I was like maybe like 8 or 9 when like Tony Hawk 1 came out. Mm-hmm. So like that definitely like opened up the door for me into like what, because like before that I was like, oh yeah, like Blink-182, that's punk. Mm-hmm. I didn't really know, and that showed me really what it was. So I think maybe it does probably have like a deep influence in what
I think it does for sure. And that was I could talk about skateboarding all day. I grew up skating. I had a mini ramp in my backyard, so all the kids would be coming over, and it was a great time. I'm 30 now, so the main thing is I fall harder. I don't heal as quickly, and I'm a little fatter or a little heavier than I used to be. So
your center of gravity has changed.
Yeah, I'm healing myself right now.
I think I still have a pretty decent balance, and it is one of those things you don't really ever forget once you've learned a trick. Like, I think it pretty much sticks with you for the most part. Like, I'm not going to go jumping down stairs right now, but if I go to the skate park, generally within half an hour, like, of not skating for a while, I start to pick up, like, all right, I can do these maneuvers pretty easily, like.
If it wasn't for the safety risk, you would see like viral videos of people in nursing homes getting on the board and shredding, right? Be like, he couldn't remember his name, but then we put him in the half pipe.
I've seen some old men shred,
dude,
and it's sick. Tony Alva's like 65. And
Caballero.
They still go into pool, or like Alva will go into like a pool, like a backyard pool, and ride it. Caballero as well. Like,
that's the thing. Like, if you know like your ability or your parameter, like you can do. You can skate for a long time.
I literally do back and front boards all day and kick flips. Like, I'll do like 100 kick flips, or like if I'm not going to do anything else than that, I'll just do that for like 4 hours. It's the best. I don't even care. Like, I'll just do those 3 tricks. So as long as I can do those, like a kick flip.
Who's the kid? Like Jaws, I think.
Jaws. Aaron Hamoki.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 30 now.
That's weird to think about. But like, that guy must have bionic knees or something, because he jumps down like. The biggest shit. Man. He jumps off roofs.
He did the Lion 25. Ali Boulala didn't do.
Who broke his?
I've actually got the Piss Drunks tattoo.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because of Ali Boulala.
Oh,
and like all that. Yeah, and that was a big influence too. Like all those skate videos, like the flip video.
Baker that was great.
Baker 3.
Sorry, we're gonna get on skateboard
for
just a little bit.
Step back, like, I'm like, all right, cool.
I would, maybe we'll make some like wrestling punk at some point.
We'll just start talking about weightlifting.
Yeah,
I was already going to try to steer it that direction anyway.
We could talk about wrecking ball, and that would be kind of bring the two things together. You're familiar with wrecking ball? Brian Weck, no, the Manny Buster.
No,
you ever seen him? Mm-mm. He's on Instagram. He's like this. Like fucking steadhead, like takes loads of steroids and like works out and stuff. But he's sick skateboarder as well. Yeah, and he calls people like skateboarders out on their manuals, like for touching wheels or like touching foot and stuff. And it's just funny. Like, I don't know, you just gotta check it out.
Yeah.
It's just something you gotta see. But he does both. I guess Neen Williams also. We could talk about. You know about Neen Williams, guy with the dreads.
Is the dude that's like was into fitness now?
Yeah, he's like super. You know what I'm talking about, Neen Williams.
I know him. Yeah.
He's like Finstagram now. He's all like.
There's a couple
really, the idea of like longevity is changing over time. Like this is totally just steered in the Joe Rogan podcast area, but you know, like athletes and people in general just try to take the idea of longevity into play a little bit more seriously than they did like 70s, 80s, even 90s. Or like you see athletes out there competing now into the late 40s or even like 50s and being somewhat competitive. I mean, which you just didn't see.
Yeah.
You know, back in the 80s, it's like. I don't even know when most football players retire. Like most of them never make it to like 40s, if not like just
football is like one of the most brutal sports to try to play forever. I mean,
so skateboarding.
It is.
Getting tackled by concrete.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll see what happens with Tyson, but Tyson just got back in fighting shape and he's like 54.
Really?
Yeah, it's.
It doesn't matter if he wins, though, innit? It's just his name is gonna make all that pay-per-view money.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, he could stand there. The fight could be over in 5 seconds, and they still make a shitload of money.
Which begs the question: why? Like, is he broke? Like, is he in debt? Like,
right, exactly.
He had a whole interview about it. It's just his personality. You know, I'm sure. I mean, I know his money was hard up at some point, but I think he's kind of bounced back from that. I mean, he's basically just like a public figure. I'm sure he scoops up money in different areas. He's at different businesses.
Got that Adult Swim money.
Adult Swim money. Those cameos money. All that stuff. You know?
Real quick, I just had one other thing about Ali Boulala. Did you see the documentary?
I did.
Yeah.
The Baker Boy one.
That was sad, man.
Yeah, huge.
Sorry,
I
have no idea.
So basically, also for anyone listening, hopefully people listen. I don't know, but there's a skateboarder who was big in the early 2000s. He was on Baker and Flip, and then Baker.
Mates with them. But he was on Flip skateboards. So.
Okay.
We're on the record here.
Yeah. He was one of the piss drunks, probably the most piss drunk. And him and Shane Cross were on a dirt bike or something, and the other guy died. Shane did. And Ali survived. And they're both, obviously fucked up at the time. And what was so strange about this documentary and about his life now is he lost his ability to skate. And I don't really fully know if it was a head injury.
Yeah.
Or
I believe it was.
I think it was a head injury.
I think it was both.
He probably fucked up some other stuff too.
His mobility,
traumatic brain injury or something like that.
Yeah, he can't. But he's not the level he was.
Yeah, it's wild because he went from being a pro skater, going through all that trauma and everything, and then now he can't even kickflip. Right. It's weird. It's really hard to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a big thing. Why it stuck with me too. When I was a kid, because it kind of it was this whole rock star thing. Yeah. But then there's that side of it as well. So it's important. It's important to remember that.
Exactly. It's very sobering for sure.
Yeah. Sobering's the right word. I mean, a lot of those guys are sober now. Yeah. So all the piss drunks except for Dustin Dolan.
Oh yeah, that guy can drink forever.
Dustin Dolan still drinks at the spots.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Yeah. I know.
He's the man. His Baker 4 part was amazing. Yeah. I thought it was so gnarly. My theory on him is a guy told me one time he had an adrenal drip problem with his kidney where he literally got too much adrenaline in his system.
Was it pheocytochromatoma?
Could be.
You rapping?
No, it's a really rare disorder that I think when I was in nursing school they're like, oh, we're gonna learn about this, but you might never see it. And I think I saw it within 4 weeks of being in the ER. I was like, I thought you said we weren't going to see this.
Yeah, it sounds like the duct that's above your adrenal gland or above your kidney is open too much, and so you just get this pure shot of adrenaline all the time. And I met somebody with this, and they were. I mean, it's possible they were on cocaine too, but dude was just fucking wired hyper, and
sure cocaine would aggravate that.
Yeah. And he was like that all the time, and he was he joined the military or something because obviously he had to do something.
Channel that aggression.
But But yeah, I feel like Dustin Dolan might have something like that going on, where he can just like he's always hyper, like always ready to go, like he's drunk or not drunk, like he just. Some people are like that. I am not. I can't.
He's insane.
Yeah.
Like wakes up in the morning, drinks beer, and then like goes and gets a massive trick. It's so sick.
It's wild.
Like not a good role model probably.
No.
But the piss drinks, he's still the piss drunks distribution's like still a thing in Australia. Yeah. So you can get like piss drunks merch and stuff. So
he's huge down there.
Yeah, he's still like the man. He does a lot of editing for like Baker, and then he does like all the distribution for like Baker Boys in like Australia and stuff. So like, he just turned into being a businessman, like you do.
Yeah, if you can.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got the skateboarding out that I wanted to talk about.
I'm accustomed to just letting the conversation go wherever.
Yeah. Which one of you lives in Hamden in Baltimore? You do?
I do.
So you might live near like View Skate Shop.
Yeah, right. I live like 5 minutes away from it.
Yeah, you got like the skate park there. Nepenthe Brewing is there too.
It's a good went
spot.
there.
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
Me and the lady friend are definitely like into the beers for sure. All the spots that we could find.
Yeah, I think Beer-Teca is shut down right now. They used like a pizza and beer spot that was like under 83.
Yeah.
They have 2 locations. I think there's another one out somewhere off 95. Maybe it's like in Bel Air or something like that. That was really good. But I don't think it's there anymore. I mean, who knows? Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about a lot of businesses that are not around in about a year.
Yeah. I mean, I hope there's not too full of a shutdown again. But
it's all speculation, but I don't think we're going to go full shutdown again. You know, maybe periods of it. But at least now, it's like if we do go back into a shutdown, it's not going to be as surprising to some businesses. It will definitely be that like final blow to certain ones, but at least other businesses at least have some type of system in play where they're already like, okay, well we've been here before, guys. Let's go back into this. Some of them have outdoor dining already. Preparations for socially distanced service.
So they got breaking it this time of the year, so we'll see. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people do get sick anyway, so like it's probably going to be double that. I don't know. I'm being pretty bleak about it. But
it's going to be one of the toughest things that we're dealing right now.
It is true. I mean, we're both in the medical field, so like I don't know what you're seeing, but
I've seen an uptick in cases personally. There was like a little bit of a lull, like where it's like I might have like one positive person, and now it's definitely more frequent. But it's a little more concerning because I think people are a little more accustomed to the virus, and some people have just kind of decided that it doesn't exist, or you know. Yeah,
I mean, categorically, I'm sort of in that place where it's like I've already had it, so I know that there's a lot of back and forth about how many times you can get it, or if it evolves, or whatever.
The intensity.
But I got it in March, and I was like good to go after that, at least in a sense. Like, you know, I still work around it. I still take care of people who have it, but I haven't gotten it again, you know. And I've just been kind of sitting around waiting. I'm just kind of like, all right.
It definitely doesn't make me personally nervous because, you know, being like, I mean, you're front line, I'm front line. It's like, I've learned one thing from this is that I don't want to be of old age and still be on the front line.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we have something like this happen again, I'm 100% getting it. You know, because that's each time there's been something. This is like my third like massive global illness threat or occurrence where we had H1N1 when I first started medicine, and then I was on the front line during Ebola.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ebola was a scary one in a lot of ways, and they say it didn't spread because it was so lethal.
Yeah. Like, the people that are shedding virus usually are a little bit more apparent.
Yeah, and you bleed out of every orifice until you die. Like when you get it. And people couldn't exactly. Like Metalocalypse or something. But like they couldn't leave their house once they get it, so they couldn't really spread because that's it. You know, like,
So
gnarly.
I don't know, but I think people are a little more accustomed to it now. So we're also seeing like the return of just kind of your normal visits. During the peak when everyone was in like lockdown, it was like we were mostly seeing just your more severe stuff. Like respiratory problems, people with chest pain, people with like crippling abdominal pain or whatever. And now we've had the return of my elbow feels funny. My elbow feels strange.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like the ER is back to being full again. It's like people aren't scared. Like for a while there people were scared to go to the hospital, and rightly so. I mean, that's where the sick people are.
Yeah.
But now people are back to just like, oh, my toe hurts. I got a headache. I got a toothache. And like,
I remember that feeding some of the conspiracy theories about, oh well, this is like a whole PR thing, and like the hospitals are empty. It's it's like. I was like, no, ERs are pretty empty because when all the other stuff that's not actually emergencies not coming in, it's like the patient volume's totally manageable.
Well,
even when those people are just like dying, it's like you can still manage it.
That's incredible.
It's a massive rabbit hole to talk about the healthcare system here in the States. But if people had like a little bit of healthcare or maybe a little bit more, they wouldn't have to go to the ER so much.
Like it was a human right.
Yeah.
There's a wise band called Piss Jeans, and they had a song where they said, "You want to know my health plan? Stay away from doctors."
I mean, that's not the worst plan, to be purely honest. But
that's my plan.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not that I'm recommending that you don't go see your doctor, but there's really no quantifiable evidence that going regularly if you don't have like a known illness is necessarily better. Like common sense, you would say yes, that going to see them, getting checked up, like just going and getting your car tuned up. But what happens if you take your car to go get looked at all the time?
Yeah, so I'm a huge book nerd and always full of recommendations. If being in the medical field, if you've never read The House of God by Samuel Shem, it was written in the 70s. It's a sarcastic book written by a real doc from Harvard, and he just came up with like these laws of medicine that are very sardonic or very whatever. And like one of the top ones is like, the best medicine is to do as much nothing as possible. Because it's kind of true. There's a lot of like smoke and mirrors going on in medicine, and it's been proven that a placebo will fix your problem 50% of the time.
Yeah, I mean,
give somebody a sugar pill.
You get the problem with like over-prescribing antibiotics when a lot of things your body would just clear up on its own. But there was a certain period of time where if you went in, you had a sinus infection or something like that, people would always give you antibiotics.
Yeah.
And that leads to some other problems, superbugs, and just screws with your immune system.
Another big rabbit hole we could talk about.
Yeah, I'll try to skirt along it. But, I'm going to say, like I said, I'm not saying don't go to the doctor, but I'm saying, like, there are risks when you go in and you're getting tested for things, because you can have things pop up that wouldn't have come up otherwise. But then...
So you guys have a song called Doctor too, which
has nothing to do with it.
Okay, nothing to do with this?
Nothing to do with it.
What's that one about?
You can get tested for things and then all of a sudden, like, find yourself going to get subsequent tests that could have some type of, like, harm.
Yeah.
And then end up with, like, other problems or undergoing other types of stress. But at the same time, you can go in and just coincidentally find, like, a cancer or something like that, too.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you would recommend not to do it, but it's not evidence-based practice.
Yeah, and in general, too, just, like, it would go a long way to have some form of medical knowledge among, like, just the population. And, like, I just mean simple stuff, like...
Yeah.
Like diabetes is a huge problem, and, people don't really understand how that works or how to maybe get a little bit better at managing it. And so they got to call 911 a lot. They got to go to the ER a lot until their foot falls off or something, which...
It's almost like people are better off if they get it kind of like younger and they can not have to
learn about it.
50 or 60 years of like behaviors that maybe predispose them to developing it by a certain age. Even as like a trained medical professional, it's like it's hard to explain endocrine system to someone. I even like have to refresh my memory on diabetes all the time.
And the crazy thing about that one, too, is it's reversible in a lot of people, a lot of cases.
Yeah,
if you could stop eating so much sugar or whatever.
Yeah, they don't want them to know. You know, they don't want people to know. They want to sell you whatever.
It's billable.
They sell you the problem and the solution.
Yep.
That's what they do.
I mean, I just wrote a song about the basically the amphetamine opioid epidemic, basically, because you give the people a problem and you give them the solution.
Right.
And then they're hooked and forever, basically.
It's like Jordan Belfort in it, like in Wolf of Wall Street. There's that scene where he's like, and then he's like, I wake up and he takes the one drug, so he doesn't feel
balance
bad.
that one.
Yeah, he's just balancing the drugs out all day.
Yeah. That's another Hunter S. Thompson thing. If you ever saw his drug regimen, it's like It's like
wake up at 4.
Yeah, 4 p.m. Hunter arises. 4:05. Hunter does line of cocaine.
It's like a banging breakfast. 5 o'clock, more cocaine, glass of cognac, smokes a joint, gets on the typewriter. It's so sick.
4 grapefruits.
Grapefruits, the big one.
That's it.
Margaritas in the pool. Hunter is now ready to write.
He finally gets to like 2 a.m. or something.
I feel inspired. Sick.
Yeah.
To bounce back on that song, Doc, that song's about if you're like on a night out with somebody who's like on some drug or something, and like you don't know what the drug, they don't even know what the drug is, kind of thing, and like you're kind of like if you ever like just babysat somebody on like a night out, it's kind of like that, and they're just like freaking out, and you're like, you shouldn't have taken that. That's what that song's
There's a whole
about.
subreddit dedicated to it called Tripsit. Somebody's having a bad trip.
That one's like, just like the lyrics are like, I'm not a doctor, I don't know. Have a glass of water.
I don't know about you, my friends were always brutal about that shit. Like, if you were freaking out, they were not cool about it. They were just like, yeah, man, that's because there was crack in that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sprinkle a little PCP in there or something.
It's like, you might not die.
Yeah, I mean, around there, fucking hell.
I'd say around like when weed strains first started to get on this exponential climb of like THC levels.
Yeah, the old weaponized marijuana, as they say.
Pretty much.
Right. Yeah, people fucking...
That was actually funny. There was these kids who were from Australia a while back, and they recorded an album here, and they were just like, dude, everything in America is so fucking strong here. They're like, you guys' beers are like so strong, your weed is so strong. Like, everything is like to the max. And it's like, in Australia, apparently everybody's like light beer, or they smoke like spliffs, like tobacco and weed together.
Yeah,
like,
in England they do as well. I don't know what it is with America where like they just make weed scientific. They're like, nah, bro, this is a crossbreed, and then we're gonna put it in the like crazy bong, and like it's got all the tips, and like, the honeycomb is gonna do this, and you're just like, I was just trying to get stoned, and I didn't follow any of that, you know. So I don't know what there's a culture divide there with it, where like I think maybe like it's the relevancy of like tobacco in society, because like in America they've been very like aggressive about pushing tobacco out of this, it's not, it's kind of like more taboo here than it is in like those countries. So like over there they're like, you can find like rolling papers and like loose tobacco more readily over there. Where here it's like American spirit, know, and that's like, real harsh. But it's just, you got different options and stuff. So it's like, it's a weird like culture divide on that one.
I guess one of the things about smoking is that it is one of the few health choices that you make that can affect the people around you. It's like if you smoke and you smoke indoors, or if you smoke around other people, it's like, it's a little bit worse than just farting around them or something like that. It's like you're exposing them to your bad habit. Yeah. Right? From a secondary standpoint, we want to get to like the whatever studies on secondhand smoking there is, but there are a lot of arguments that people were like, oh yeah, it's like the smokers cost the healthcare system and the taxpayers so much money because they're going in for all these tests, and it's an unpopular opinion, but if you look at the data, smokers on average spend something like $150,000 to like $200,000 less. Don't quote me on these numbers, right? I'm just ballparking. Yeah. But then like your average American that's a non-smoker. Yeah. But the reason is because they develop like, probably a major cardiovascular disease or like cancer or like something else that takes them out, so they don't live longer. it's like if you live longer,
Yeah.
quote, healthier, you live longer to develop, more chronic illnesses that don't take you out a couple more decades. So, like, really, we can just solve our tax problems by just getting everyone to smoke.
Thank you for smoking, right?
Thank
Seen
you.
that movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, the problem and the solution.
of course,
Being
I just
solved,
got
yeah.
that subject gave me bad PTSD from the damn Midsummer movie I just watched last night, where when they turn 72 and they jump off a cliff, like that was crazy.
We'll wait until that gets fashionable, right?
Yeah, that was some wild shit.
Yeah, I mean,
We took a quick break here at this point of the interview. It gets a little annoying when you get to the end of a conversation. You're like, oh, fuck.
oh, shit, we gotta start over. I know what that feels like.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to kind of talk about some of your more music side of things, like,
Definitely.
we could definitely get into, I don't know, either what fires you up to write or what fires you up to play, or I don't know if.
I don't know, we just like big dirty riffs, like whenever we kind of started like talking to each other and go, like so I'd posted on Craigslist and then he jumped on it, which was really lucky, because he was there to like laugh at, people. He was kind of using it as like a comedy, the comedy factor of it.
Yeah.
But so we were starting to talk, and like, I mean, those songs were more like maybe leaning towards like no wave, or like definitely more like garage rock or like grunge or something. And then we started talking about like stoner metal, and then it was like he was like, oh yeah, that's like my shit.
Okay.
So at that point, we definitely were like, okay, that's like a very common thing, and it with our writing style, it definitely became like a more of a centerfold than it was previously in what I'd written. So I think that's kind of one of the things that, like you were saying before, like the genre, you can't like really put it in one box.
Yeah.
We've all like, that's kind of been a conscious thing for us. Like, we don't want to just be like like every other garage rock band or like every other fucking stoner metal band, or like we kind of want to bring all these things together, kind of like a Venn diagram sort of thing is how I see it. So like, yeah, definitely just really fuzzy, dirty riffs, big drums, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. Who are some of you guys like bands you bonded over then, like stoner metal wise, or
We're both wearing I Hate God shirts right now.
Yeah. There you go.
We said it's always a thing. It's like, are you gonna wear your I Hate God shirt tonight?
Yeah.
Both wear them the same show.
The Misfits is like a really
Yeah.
big one for us. I think, just stuff that's like really melodic, I think, and then, but also angry and like aggressive. More like post-punk too. Like probably, I think that's become like more of a thing that we like want to incorporate more. Just I don't know, we just got into a bunch of bands like that.
Like Idols,
like a lot of bands who rip off The Fall, basically. If you're familiar with The Fall.
Piss Jeans.
Yeah, Piss Jeans, another good band. Fontaine's DC, all those bands.
Yeah.
They want to be The Fall. You gotta listen to The Fall.
Stoner metal's kind of my like default. It's like my junk food of music. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that. It's just like this. You know what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? It's like it's like
great.
just a hamburger. It's like
Great for lifting.
wherever you're at, wherever a restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, a hamburger's gonna be straight.
I do feel like, it must be how like a wine snob feels, where I'm like, I know this sounds similar, but you got to pick out the differences, the nuances. You see, Monolord has hints of cherry and stone fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're all like Iron Lord, Witch. Like they all have like Black Witch, Iron Lord, Lith. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cloud.
Yeah, there's some band I was trying to look up in my library. I think it's Witch something.
They all have like the same name. There's always
yeah,
like
I
a
know.
little bit of
Like,
the same thing to it. But you could say the same in a lot of genres. Like, like we have teen in our name. Like, how many bands have teen in their fucking name? Or
your
youth or
guys'
whatever,
name's
right?
pretty cool. It stands out.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely conscious to me. I wanted it to be like a name that you just go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck does that mean? A teen mortgage?
It's highly Googleable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's not. I don't name a band that has the word mortgage in their name. You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it sticks out.
The
For
Mortages.
It did lend us into getting Pizzagated though, but that's
Did it?
Well,
Because of the name? Oh, because
yeah, that got pointed out to me in another podcast. They're like, and you got teen in your name. We're like,
Weird.
yeah.
How does
I thought
that tie
Pizzagate
into
was for children, though.
Yeah, how does that tie into?
It depends on where you draw the definition, because teen could be like 13 and up.
I mean, they're grasping for straws as it is, so they probably would use it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would play...
I put 2 and 2 together, right? Pizza, teen, and Satan.
That's a conspiracy theory right there. So.
And we're on King Pizza Records, and we're
Yeah.
playing Comet Ping Pong. And I think they had just had their 6th anniversary show, which was King Pizza 666 Fest.
Perfect.
So yeah,
Just beautifully tied together.
You guys are like in Hillary's email somewhere.
Yeah,
she listens to Team Mortgage probably.
There was a confluence of things. A confluence of things that came together that led to us getting Pizzagated. I told people I put in our like, we don't do physical press kits very often, but anytime I do, that's our press kit now is the clipping from Reddit r/conspiracy that has our faces, and then like according to Comet Ping Pong's website, this band Team Mortgage is going to be playing there on blah 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 date.
Yeah.
Their website is rife with satanic pizza imagery.
Hell yeah.
You guys are gonna end up like in the court with like Judas Priest style, you know?
Hell yeah.
Like
controversial rock band.
Yeah.
I like that.
Making kids slit their wrists or something.
Yeah, we were torn on it, but I was like, man, it's gonna suck. But if they show up, it's probably gonna end up being alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like one comment in it where they were like, we should show up like to the album release all wearing like Make America Great hats again. Do like a peaceful protest in there, and I was like, yeah, get a ticket. You can pay me to do that, absolutely.
I would have bought them pizza.
Yeah, for real. I'm like, thanks for coming. Like,
seriously.
So do you want to like, what do you want to talk about?
Prosciutto in the shape of a pentagram.
I'll tell you all about Hillary Clinton's emails.
Yeah.
So you guys come in and see the show.
Yeah.
Whatever gets people in the door, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair, as long as
Maybe
they're
they
not holding.
Yeah, that's fair, because that is like an actual problem in that particular venue.
Yeah.
Were you guys
Anyway.
touring at all before this? Or?
Yeah, loads. We had like a whole. We just brought out a video for the song Doctor, and we were going to do like a little weekend there. We had a lot of other things planned as well. We had like maybe like 5 or 6 months of gigs planned.
We had a bunch of festival dates booked, and we were planning to do trips around that because those were like the cornerstones of each like little like venture, because we tend to do more like weekender stuff so that we can do it more frequently.
Yeah.
Versus just trying to get off stacks of weeks at a time. It's just not really functional when like you're not making your living yet doing this, you know.
Well, you also got a real job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I mean, I didn't ask what you did for.
Oh, I do like business sales for IT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a real job.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. But we had like loads of shows we were looking forward to.
What kind of festivals?
Yeah, I don't remember, even at this point.
I mean, it's
Just like some upstate New York ones.
Yeah. What kind of aspirations did you have in life before you lost the league? I think we're doing Mac Rock.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing King Pizza Fest. We were going to do Savage Mountain Punk Festival.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to do another one up somewhere in upstate New York, which I don't even remember what it was called now. We were supposed to be playing with Richie Ramone.
Yeah. I was really bummed about that one. Richie Ramone at Slash Run.
What the fuck?
That would have been tight. We had like a Metro Gallery show lined up.
Yeah, it's a cool spot.
We had like, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But then we kind of got lucky with like how it got adapted for gigs, I guess, because we got some cool opportunities, like playing in the back of a truck.
Yeah.
That was sweet. We did DC9 live stream. We played our mate's backyard.
Yeah. The Metro Gallery show was supposed to be with Human Impact, which is like another just I don't know. It's
It's
a
like
sick,
members of Swans.
Yeah, it's a sick group that I actually I listened to them a ton. So that 3-day period where we lost all of our bookings for 9 months.
We're just watching them drop like flies,
Yeah,
just like
that sucks.
getting emails all over the 3 days. Like it's not going to be a thing anymore.
Cry a little bit. Yeah.
I almost trying to humor people when they're emailing us because, like, you know, like being in this line of business, it's like we're getting the information before, like, not before the public, but it's a little more imperative that's going to affect us. And when people are like, all right, we'll see what happens in 2 weeks, I was like, it's not how it's going to work.
Yeah. Do you guys have a normal bass player? Or, like, how'd you get hooked up with Harkham's bass player?
It's him and Joey have known each other
Okay.
for a long time.
Since
So
middle school.
Really? You guys go way back.
He always thinks it's funny, though, because I don't remember him, but he remembers me. Like, we hooked back up because, like, he went to UMBC, too. So, like, we started hanging out, like, when he came to UMBC. And, that's when we really, like, started hanging out all the time. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a long time now. But I guess I technically know him since the 90s, you know?
Yeah, the Pasadena days and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, it's a weird thing that we have him in now, and we'll see what happens in the future, because, like, you know, there's a lot of conveniences that come from being, like, a duo, you know? But he decided to jump on just kind of like, it was an off-the-cuff thing that we were doing a live stream, and he was like, he wants to, like, I'll come in and play bass for you. And I was like, it's one of those rare instances where you don't have gigs for the next 3 years like lined up, you know?
just thought it'd be fun, switch it up, honestly.
Yeah.
Because, like, when we're a two-piece, I have, you know, I'm holding down, like, the backbeat the whole time.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I could, like, play a solo.
Yeah.
That was literally it for me. Just like, oh, yeah.
You guys get a
do
looper
solo.
pedal too, and I don't know.
Fuck a looper pedal. Like they're just so annoying. I've done it before, and like it just takes you out of the whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it does. It is annoying when people just sit there and look at their feet the whole show.
Yeah, I'm like fuck Ed Sheeran. Like
shoegaze
all
comes
that shit.
But you know, one great band I saw at the Auto Bar that I love is Middle Class Rut, and they're a duo from California, I think.
Oh, not familiar.
But they had some somewhat big songs, I guess. I don't know, but they're a duo, and I thought that was cool.
I have to check
Very
them out.
punk. It can be done, I guess, is what I'm saying.
There's
Like,
a lot of bands who, like Big Business is like a band that got me onto. We opened for them like 2 years ago. Local H is another one.
Yeah.
We definitely maybe draw from Death from Above, 1979. Fucking amazing band. I love the White Stripes. I don't think we really go in that kind of direction, maybe, but
I feel like they're a little thinner.
Sprinkled in there, you know, in the sound a little bit.
And it's like garage rock in it, so it's kind of like Bass Drum of Death is another band. I love when Waves was a two-piece, when it was Zach Hill from is he in Lightning Bolt? No, Hella. No, Hella. Sorry, Zach Hill from Hella, and he plays in Death Grips and stuff. It was him and Nathan Williams from Waves, and they're just doing like a two-piece thing.
That's awesome.
It's so sick, yeah. Like
I
think he kicked Zach Hill out because he was like way better than him.
Yeah.
He was just like destroying him.
My buddy told me a funny Jack White story where he was recording in Nashville somewhere, like with his band, and then like I guess Jack White like walked into like the room or something, and like there were some other people there, and the producer was like, "Oh, and here's our janitor," and then just went back to doing whatever they were doing, and he was just like, "Fuck you," and left.
That's sick.
So,
Very fair.
yeah.
I like Jack White. He's like, I think he's earned his pretentiousness. You know, he's just awesome. He's the man.
So,
He's putting out like interesting stuff too. I mean, his record label released the Last Sleep record.
Yeah.
Which
Third Man.
Yeah, Third Man did the Last Sleep record. So, you know, they definitely branched out. You know,
Yeah, they've got amazing roster.
That would be a record label. It'd be kind of cool to be on. We're happy with King Pizza right now, of course.
Whose
KP.
label is that? Like, is it one of your friends or is it?
So it's the man Greg, man. We just like hit him up. We'd kind of known about the scene up there in New York City, like, or in Brooklyn rather.
Mm-hmm.
And we just recorded that EP, and we were like, maybe they'll like it and put it on there. And we were literally like, do you like this? And he just emailed back like, yeah, let's do it. And
Nice.
like, it was so we'd I'm forgetting his last name, honestly.
Hanson.
Yeah, Greg Hansen.
Yeah.
I tend to do a lot of the emailing lately.
Hansen.
Of like the more quick to respond one at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty...
It waffles back and forth, I would say, throughout the time, where like, depending on whose job's doing what.
Yeah.
And this is your only band or only project? Because, I mean, that really helps. I know a lot of people are trying to balance more than one, so that'll...
This is my only one. I do like a lot of home recording.
Yeah.
I do like... I'll put kind of like just demos out as Jimmy G on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
So you can check, it's kind of like new wavy, kind of lo-fi sort of thing. And then Ed's got a band called Tide All the Time, and you can talk about that now.
It's a band. I think it's a band. I've been trying to get us to drop some tracks.
It's more of an idea. Yeah,
I've been trying to get them to drop some tracks for like the last 8 or 9 months. I recorded stuff for it like so long ago. I think everything's ready. I've been asking them for the last 5 months. I'm like, so why isn't this out? Like, I don't know what else I'm waiting on. But if you want to go down a rabbit hole with that, you can just check it out.
I reckon like you
I'll
just need
feature it like on the episode or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
It's a loosely artistic project, I would say.
Yeah.
They're pretty autistic.
Yeah.
Pretty. I'm sure at least someone in the band is probably on the spectrum to a degree.
Oh,
we all are.
Yeah, exactly.
I think everyone is.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Is there any shout outs you want to mention?
Yeah, totally.
Drug dealers, mom, dad.
Do you watch Shameless?
Yes.
You do?
Great show.
We're going to be, the new season, or like the first episode of the new season, one of our tunes is going to be in that episode in some capacity.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Really?
the season premiere.
Yeah.
Really?
We just found
How'd
out
you
about
land
that.
that?
Through the label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we work with Dirty Laundry, which is our, I guess that's our licensing company.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just hooked it up.
So
That's
lucky.
absolutely sick, man.
Yeah.
You gonna get to meet Frank?
No.
we don't know the context that it's going to be in there. I was saying, I hope it's rad. You never know, because it could just be
which
like...
scene?
Yeah,
I hope
hopefully
it's like Frank like barfing behind the bar. Like,
yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but like one of our other label mates, Zip Tie Handcuffs, I'll definitely give them a shout. They're like one of my favourite bands.
Right.
Definitely get on them if you haven't. Amazing band from Boston. They were previously in it last year, so just
Yeah.
Shameless is sick because they're just
It's a great
all
show.
sick bands in their show.
Say we just keep our fingers crossed that's in a cool context. It isn't like, oh, this showed up and it's like, this is the music playing at a Q rally. Fuck.
It's gonna be a whole scene where Frank's got the tape in his hand and he's just like, this band's so sick, and he like puts it on. It's like a whole product placement.
Yeah. They just sit down, they put on our track, and then they all listen to it intently for the full duration of it. That was a really weird non sequitur scene, but it really, I feel like it capped off the episode well.
Just got the hook up on that one.
Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, so we've got that going on, and then we're gonna drop a single called "Such Is Life" at some point. Maybe we're gonna probably talk about that after this podcast. How we're gonna do it, but it's gonna be like the next month or two, definitely. So look out for that for sure.
Yeah, just send me the link or the file whenever it's done, and then I'll post it however I can.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Probably gonna make some like skate edit to that as well at some point. Make some like skate a pool, something like a bowl.
Yeah, let me know if you're ever skating up there at the park. I'll come up and hurt myself.
The Baltimore one.
Yeah.
yeah, man, for sure. I'm like there a lot. Do you go to Laurel?
Yeah, I actually grew up in Laurel, so
Oh, you got that one a lot. Yeah, that one's my favorite. It's the best.
If you ever want to take a drive too, I always tell people one of the nicest parks people don't seem to skate that much around here is it's out west a little bit, and I think it's called Shrimp Town.
Shrimp Town?
I think it's called Shrimp Town.
Hell yeah.
It's in like Skaggsville or something.
Skaggsville.
Yeah. It's like 30 minutes outside the city, but it's a really nice park.
I found check that out. That's funny. In the UK, they call Skaggers heroin.
Oh really?
So
There's so many good like things we don't use in America, like good terms that you guys have.
Almost like there's a lot of skag there.
Just like the C word being tossed around too is so great. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
in America gets like so offended by that.
Yeah, it's a lot of taboos in it. So like, I don't know. I was just thinking then, like, what like Americans call every toilet a bathroom.
Yeah.
But there's no bath in there.
Yeah.
They still use the F word to describe cigarettes.
I think, well, that's like, I'm from like the north, so that's not really, I don't know if like people don't really call them that where I'm from, like they call them bifters.
Bifftus?
Yeah, bifter or a biff is what you call it.
Bifters.
Yeah, or like a joint would be a bifter. That's more of like a London thing, so I can't really speak on that. They probably do though, yeah.
There is something about a lot of this, like the UK
Slang.
slang that just, it has like a very like cute sounding word for a lot of things.
I watched A Clockwork Orange the other night. I hadn't watched it in ages, and I love that like dichotomy. How they're just, it's so sinister, but then it's like baby talk at the same time, basically. Yeah. And when he comes down the stairs, he goes, welly, 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 well. It's so goofy. It's so good.
Yeah.
Happy Polly Launchies had a bit of pain in the Gulliver. Great. It's like, what are you talking about?
Another language. Basically.
Yeah. That's why it's sick, yeah.
Yeah.
Super like London.
Like I never understood punter. Like
Punter. A punter's just like
I mean,
a head. You know what I mean? Like if we're gonna get punters in the door. Like when you get heads in the door.
yeah,
That's kind of.
I just didn't understand like where that came from. It just seemed weird to me.
A punter's just like a spectator.
Yeah. Like audience.
I tried to look up dozer. I don't even really know what that exactly means.
Dozer?
Fucking dozer.
If you just dozy in it, it's like if you're a dozy cunt. You just fucking don't know what's going on.
People that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because it's like if you look up dozer, I think in the US,
Like
some people use it to describe like heroin addicts.
Oh yeah, I mean,
But
that
then-
makes sense, innit?
I would have thought bulldozer, like you're a bulldozer of a person.
I mean, heroin addicts are dozy cunts, so to be fair. Like, that's exactly what you are. Like, not your fault, it's the heroin's fault, but you know, you'd be probably being a bit of a dozy cunt.
One of these days, the scientists are going to harness the power of that like heroin gyroscopic balance effect that people have when they're on it. You never see them fall down. It is impressive.
Yeah.
Heroin sleeping, you mean, or whatever, they're just like,
Yeah.
you know, good at
Yeah,
it.
I think they call it dope fiend lean around
The
Baltimore.
dope fiend lean.
Yeah.
I mean, I see people in
Shit.
impossible positions. I think like once you work in like the business that we do too, like once you like really see what it looks like, or if you like live like in an area where there's a lot of people, I feel like it was like it's like discovering the trees are around you or something. It's like you see them now, and now when I go places, I'm like, that guy's on heroin.
Yeah.
You know? And my girlfriend would be like, what? I'm like, everyone, right there. They're all on heroin right now.
Yeah.
Like, why do you tell that? Because they're just bent
Dope,
over in
yeah,
impossible
dope
positions.
fiend lean.
Yeah.
Lose it away.
Their whole body looks like it's throwing up gang signs.
Wow.
Dude, somebody took like PCP the other day, I think, and they were doing like this anime dance. Like, I swear it was out of like, if you watch that Japanese like anime stuff, they were trying to like do those moves. And like they were talking like that, and I can't recreate it.
Was he affable? Because that sounds very like jovial.
Like
you know?
somebody was saying he was having a seizure, and I was like, "That's choreographed." I was like, "That's not a seizure."
Great TikTok.
Yeah,
Should have filmed that.
Oh, PCP.
yeah.
PCP's like shame around there. Didn't know much about it. It's like
It's
wild
big
one.
around here.
Yeah, like wow, I don't know why people are just like,
I
you
don't
know
know.
what my drug of choice is. Like,
My thing about PCP that I always wonder is like, I never see people have good trips or good times on. I always see them when they're completely flipping cop cars or whatever.
yeah,
And
don't
so,
really
like-
hear about people like really having a good time. On
Naked
it.
So,
in
like-
the streets.
But people take it, so they must have some good times on it. I've just never seen it. Like,
It's like, yeah, I don't know.
well, it's like Molly isn't Molly anymore.
It's not. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's just shit cut together to
I don't
kind
know.
of emulate that. You know.
I don't know how to tell people how fucked they are if they go to the ER for help if you've taken something that's like a test chemical
you
or
got in the
something
mail.
something you
Yeah.
got in the mail, or you just bought Molly from someone. Because I'm like, the doctors are not necessarily up to date on all the exotic chemicals that are out there.
Dude.
It's like our drug panels only test for so many things.
I watched like a documentary on Vice or something, and how like basically China and their chemists are making a new chemical every time the FDA makes one
Exactly.
illegal.
Yeah.
They'll make an analog chemical that's just different enough that doesn't.
I can't qualify.
Yeah, and so it's legal, technically, and they could ship it right over.
Yeah, spice
Yeah.
in England has become such a massive issue because of that. Where they just up the ante every time and get around the law, and then you've got people in jail smoking it.
Yeah.
It's not even it's always cycle. From a nefarious intent either. It's you do have some people that are designing things for therapeutic purposes, but for whatever reason, the drug's we invented this, and then we found out that the therapeutic window is super narrow, so it's not really useful, or we can't really sell this, or can we?
I like that you use I like that you use therapeutic window. Very professional.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I like to sprinkle in a little bit of the big words.
Yeah.
On occasions, just to show people that we're authentic.
Yeah, we love that. They sell you a drug, and then because capitalism allows it all in it, so you sell a drug and then you get addicted to it, and then you get arrested, and then you go to rehab and you pay the lawyer fees and the fucking government, and then you pay the rehab fee, and then you can't vote and you can't do anything.
So
there you go. You just explained it in 30 seconds.
I would. That's how it works.
Such is life. Look out for it.
When I was in the ER, even now, I would go and talk to some of my physicians about certain things, when Flacco was a big thing in Florida. I don't know if it's still a big thing or not, but I would go and talk to them about these newer blossoming drug issues that are going around the country, and to a certain extent you would think that I was talking to my grandmother or something like that, because they would have no idea. It's you mean, is that synthetic weed? I'm being a little hyperbolic there, but it's just their knowledge of how to deal with that.
You don't learn about it in med school.
No.
You're more likely to learn about it in Shameless, when they're in the streets of Chicago. That's where you're gonna learn about it.
And you're not gonna learn about how to treat it. So it's when they come in with stuff like that, it doesn't come up on a drug panel.
Oh yeah.
You're just treating symptomatically and hoping for the best. It's not
Ativan.
Take your ass for a ride in the van. I like the B-52.
Oh.
Just the name of it, because I was you know what the B-52 is?
Yeah, it's the Haldol and the
Benadryl, Haldol, Ativan.
Yeah.
I love that band.
That's what I said. I told people I started calling it the Love Shack.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
calm down, man. They're gonna take you to Love Shack.
Y'all need a rock lobster?
Nowadays, we give people ketamine. Really, it's a tranquilizer. Just takes them down.
Well, it's a dissociative.
Ketamine's hilarious. Ketamine's such a funny drug. I think that's another one though, kind of like PCP, where it's just you don't really hear about people having a good time, but it's just so funny. You
get stuck in the K
hole.
Well,
you gotta hit the therapeutic window before you fully dissociate.
I've only K-holed one time, and I actually really enjoyed it. But maybe I'm just a special case or something. I don't know.
Oh, we gotta
put it this way: we use it to set people's bones.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It gave you something for the pain, because when you come out of it, you're just gonna have someone just yanked on your thing. But I've reset a 8-year-old's wrist.
We tried to. We took a bunch of ketamine and tried to go longboard in my the apartment complex parking lot that I lived in at the time, and we were yeah, this is gonna be sick. And then we all tried to do it. We were okay, this ain't gonna happen right now.
This is where I feel the disclaimer should come out.
That
I, as a medical professional, do not partake.
Yeah, same. We can edit this part out.
Nor am I associated with. I mean, I am pretty open about telling people I'm not naive. I think if anything, it makes me, if anything, having some exposure to it and not being naive to what it's like to be around people on certain substances, I'm a little bit better off dealing with them than other ones. You know,
how else are you going to educate yourself for the benefit of the public when they come in and they're on those drugs?
Well, we used to have people dragged in from Fish concerts and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
They'd be oh, these people are on acid, and I was they'd be fine. I
just
literally went into the room and put on
Calm music.
Dave Matthews for someone, and they were fine.
Yeah,
it's
literally.
You just need to chill out.
Yeah. Had to make one quick edit here.
Let me let you know that a lot of people distrust medicine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you ever seen Scrubs fucking
and
shit?
I would equate it to the distrust of police or something like that, depending on where you come from. Yeah, it's it's if you grew up in a certain way, I'm pretty sure that you don't trust police.
Yeah, I mean, they talk about racism in medicine too.
Oh yeah,
big time.
Yeah, vulnerable populations. I mean, it's true. We deal with people that have sickle cell.
Yeah.
Because, like, not racism, but, like, basically it's like these kids grow up dealing with severe pain, and they get allotted to help with their severe, like, quantifiable pain.
Yeah.
And then, like, once they turn 18, like, a lot of times they get treated like drug-seeking patients. They get treated like shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're like, boop, 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 18.
Like, give them methadone, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what is really methadone do
Like-
at the end of the day?
Like anything, it's not one or two factors that probably go into a decision, but there are certain ERs that have gone completely Dilaudid free.
Yeah.
Quotations. Dilaudid free. And one of the big things that happens is just the habit of having people show up because, you know, they know if they go in there and they create enough of a ruckus for whatever reason, or convincing enough, that's a possibility they can get it. Where when when people are dope sick, it's, you know, a very big possibility. But once you're like, sorry, we're out.
Yeah.
It's like they said their social visits shut down.
Yeah.
So you stop seeing the same amount of people that are coming in and clogging up the system for neck pain, abdominal pain that had no real evidence of why they were having it. You know? So there is that, but yeah, as far as like if someone's just in pain, it's like if they're a drug seeker, I agree with you that it's like there are times where it's I have no moral issues necessarily just giving it to someone other than like knowing that there are a lot of other factors going into it.
I'm just like, if you're desperate enough to call 911 or to go to the ER just to get drugs, even if that is your goal, like, that's such a pain in the ass way to go about it.
Then we think about a world where it wasn't so stigmatized and you could go in and be like, yeah, I ran out and I'm dope sick. You know, then you could go in and be like, okay, well, this is a medical emergency, so we'll put you over here.
It's like in the Netherlands.
Yeah,
It's like not a big deal, but
I mean, I'm sure there's any like galaxy of issues that would come from that too.
yeah.
You know, because you would get people that just like with like shelters or something like that. I'm sure if we rolled it out, it'd end up being like, you know, a shitty situation for a lot of people too. You know, we're like, yeah, I don't want to go there because whenever I get my fix, they just want to like, you know, put me in this weird situation. Their food's terrible or something like that. I don't know. Like, I'm just being silly, but you know,
this rehab in Maine. There was like a Vice segment on it where they like dab people out. Like they're like these recovering heroin addicts, like they just literally dab them to sleep, like just get them stoned as fuck, and like and it, like a lot of people. I think the thing that's kind of shitty about it is that like they just kind of replace the heroin addict addiction, but like
swapping one addiction for
pretty
another.
much, but they get them through the like withdrawal, I guess. So and it's like
you gotta diversify your addictions.
Yeah,
I think that's the
diversify your bonds.
Well, I'm pretty sure that just looking at your books and everything like that, you probably come across the different people talking about psychedelics as used to treat addiction.
Yeah.
And they have people that do like ayahuasca and I can't list like
They come out of it and they're just like, I don't need it anymore.
Just sweat it all out.
It's also just your brain gets rewired and like the pathways aren't the same anymore, and so it's just like
the way your like opiate receptors are somehow wired differently afterwards. Unfortunately, because of stigmatization, you know, any like research on that super limited. Yeah, you do have at least like, you know, some first person evidence that people have done it and successfully like kicked heroin or like whatever vice it was just from going and doing like a, you know, a one-time experience.
Yeah.
You know, but you know.
Yep.
I digress.
I think we're gonna wrap it up here.
Cool.
We're probably gonna hit the dusty trail ourselves and
all right,
get moving on. But I really do appreciate you guys coming over and doing the interview and also adjusting to time. I know I told you one time and changed it up a little, but I do appreciate it.
It's fun, man. We're nothing if not flexible.
So yeah, once again, thanks to Ed, thanks to James, Team Mortage for coming on over, talking about music. Their song here is called Falling Down. I picked it up off iTunes, but you should be able to get it wherever you listen to music. Other than that, have a good week.